you, if there's one thing I know about my co-host, he's got a poppin' booty.
Oh, unfair.
You just told me you did.
I was joking.
Okay. You were joking.
But I do have a poppin' booty. Dr. Heidi Rootes joining us, naturopathic physician, and we are going to be talking about the poppin' booty.
I'm not sure what to say.
Now, Dr. Heidi, we are actually talking about colon health.
We actually are talking colon, not booty. We could talk booty.
Now, a lot of people go to the regular doctor, but maybe you can explain, first of all, as a naturopathic physician, does the treatment differ? Is it the same sort of thing?
I think basically what it is, it's about educating patients about colon health and making sure you have a healthy colon, and knowing your risk factors, especially if you have family history of any sort of colon disease, and making sure you're being preventative. I think that's where we are really good at.
What are we talking about when we're talking about hereditary colon disease?
Mostly colon cancer. So an interesting stat is colon cancer, colorectal cancer is the second most death-causing cancer in Canada, in the world. Lung cancer is first. So I have some stats here for you. There's 22,000 new cases in Canada every year of colorectal cancer. Almost 10,000 deaths every year in Canada.
That's crazy.
It's a lot, yeah. There's 20 million Canadians who suffer from digestive disorders within Canada. It costs $18 billion annually to treat these people.
Wow.
Wow.
So how much, I mean, I'm assuming it, because it's all part of the chain, how much of this is diet related? Is there any way to answer that?
Yeah, well, a lot of it, for some people it's all diet. For some people it's a lot of it's nervous system. Stress is a huge one. Parasites are a big one. You'd be surprised how many people have parasites, and parasites can wreak havoc in that area.
How do you know if you have parasites?
Well, there's usually a lot of bloating that goes on, but also your digestion changes. So all of a sudden you have constipation, you alternate between constipation and diarrhea, so a lot of it goes with all the
Now, a lot of times people won't recognize that as a parasite, but I guess going to their doctor regularly and just telling them what's going on. Yeah.
And the best way to test for stool is you do a triple screen. So if you catch one stool, so you want to do 3 consecutive stools.
I'm having a hard time with this lady.
This is the stuff that no one wants to talk about. We're just going to bring it all out here.
I'm just going to get my grocery list in my head and tune out.
Just some deep breathing.
Go for it.
That's fine.
You want to do 3 tests. So if you catch 3 consecutive stools, your chances of actually testing for an ovum or parasite really increases a lot.
And what other things do you look for when you get tested for that sort of thing?
So parasites are one. Other things are things like blood in the stool. So that's a big sign that something's going on. If the blood is red, it means it's coming from lower in the GI tract. If it's black, it's coming from upper. It means you have a bleed somewhere in the upper GI tract. But there's a lot of things that you can do to be preventative. So one thing, if you have a family history of any sort of colorectal cancer, you want to be getting colonoscopies.
And at what age for men and women? The same, 45?
45 and above, because there is a genetic link. So you just want, and it's an excellent screen. Everybody should be getting them after a certain age, but especially if you have a family history of it.
And what other preventative things can people do to keep themselves healthy?
So you want to just be creating flow. If things are moving, then you're doing a good job. So really that's your responsibility, and no one wants to talk about their bowel movements.
Yeah.
And, I meet people for the first time. We spend a lot of time talking about that kind of stuff. So it's really important. You'd be surprised what people think is normal. I have had patients that have come in and they have totally normal bowel movements once a week.
Really?
Wow. And they don't.
And they don't know that that's because we don't talk about that.
And you don't go for dinner and talk about your bowel movements unless you've been traveling.
Let's take this right back. What is normal bowel movement?
So
once a day?
Yeah, once a day is great. Normal, optimal is twice a day. Now everybody's different. So your normal is definitely not the same as my normal. And your normal, my name might be same.
Is it normal that when I'm drinking coffee? No.
Michael. Now, when we're talking about prevention
You've been very good so far.
and diet and colon, you often hear fiber.
Yeah, so there's a few key things. There's two different types of fiber. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. So the big difference between the two is soluble fiber creates a gel when it's mixed with water. Insoluble fiber creates more of an irritation and creates more flow. So if you have diarrhea, you want to be sticking to more things like soluble fiber, because that helps absorb the liquids more. It'll
now,
be
are you
more
talking about
absorptive.
fiber supplements in that regard? Or are you talking about
fiber foods? So flaxseed psyllium, those are more soluble fibers. Apples are more soluble fibers. Leafy greens are more insoluble fibers. Wheat bran is an insoluble fiber. Oat bran is a soluble fiber. So you can just Google soluble versus insoluble fiber. But Insoluble fiber tends to stimulate the digestive tract, whereas soluble fiber tends to slow things down,
And
bulks
what about
things up.
supplements, fiber supplements? Is that something that you should take?
You
or is it
could,
just...
but again, like anything else, what they're doing is they're taking fiber and they're putting it into a supplement. So if you can get it in your food, you're getting, it's like a twofer. You're getting the food and you're getting...
Did you just say it was like a twofer?
It's like a twofer.
Oh, that's
It's like
Dr.
a
Heidi.
twofer.
It's a twofer. I call it a twofer.
How much of an influence can diet have in correcting some of these abnormalities that people are coming to you and talking about?
Right,
I mean,
so it
if their
goes
bowel
both
movements
ways.
aren't normal.
Yeah, so a lot of people will come in and they have irregular bowel movements. They have lots of problems with their digestion. It's finding out what foods are triggering the problem or what foods are missing from the diet. So it goes both ways. There's often foods that are creating problems. Removing those foods can make things a lot better, or adding foods in that they need. So that you'd be surprised how many people don't drink water.
Right.
Well,
Water's
that was actually
huge.
my next question, because drinking water, you know, it makes everything better for your body. How does it affect the colon?
Well, you need water in order to create bulk, in order to keep things moving. So there's a few key things that I always tell my patients. One, start with chewing your food. Because if you chew your food, you're starting that digestive process, and there's a process called peristalsis, which is actually just the movement of the bowel that pushes the...
It's amazing how mindful you have to be.
I'm being very careful with
I am familiar with peristalsis.
Yes, the peristalsis. So chew your food, start the stimulation, drink water, make sure you have enough fiber. Probiotics, I find, are essential, because if you're going to do a supplement, with digestion, take probiotics, because they're putting good bacteria into the digestive tract, and it's your first line of defense, as well as also helping with the digestive process and helping prevent
Is eating a yogurt like with good probiotic, is that enough?
fabulous marketing.
Is that,
It is, and it's marketed
is it
towards
marketing or
women
does it actually?
only,
My
but
probiotic
men,
that
same.
I give has 45 billion organisms in one capsule. My yogurt has 500,000. So it's not going to hurt for sure, unless you have a problem with dairy.
Right.
But if you want to actually really put human flora in there, the right bacteria, you should probably get yourself on a
supplement.
Good,
Well, best thing to do is to visit Dr. Heidi. You can go to her website to find out all the information if you want to get into naturopathy. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I thought about switching to a stool halfway through, but I think the couch is going to do me just fine. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about tuning up your bike at home. Of course, it's Bike to Work Week in the next
Next time,
little while.
are we going to do an enema on him? Is that what's going to happen?
I offered. He turned it down.